J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. What's going on, Jets fans? My name is Trace Moustakas. You can call me Moose, filling in for Mr. Patrick Seatman here on the Jets Report by Chat Sports. But just because he's not able to do a Jets video does not mean that Jets news stops at all. So we have to talk about the most pressing thing that has just happened for your favorite football team. The Jets have signed free agent center from the Green Bay Packers, Mr. Josh Myers, on a 1-year, $3.5 million deal. Now, it should be noted I spent a little bit of time up in Wisconsin the last couple of years, and he's one of the most underrated centers I have seen play. Now, is he going to be one of these outstanding, transformative Drew Dahlman-type centers? No, he's not. But for what the new regime is doing here in New York, it is a very, very good signing. And speaking of all of the signings, if you want to stay up to date with all of the Jets breaking free agency news, the draft is upcoming, then the 2025 NFL season. For all of these moves that are going to be covered here on the Jets Report, we need you to hit that big subscribe button. Go ahead. It is completely free, and it won't cost you a single thing to stay up to date all year round surrounding your favorite team. Now let's get back to Mr. Josh Myers. So, as I was doing a little bit of recognizance about this signing, I was starting to think to myself, and I was like, man, Myers has been on the market now for quite some time. And I didn't expect him to go day one. I kind of expected him to be more of a day two guy. But to be completely fair, his run blocking grades and his PFF grades, they don't stand out, right? You're going to look at these numbers and you're going to say, this guy is not good at all. But don't let the PFF numbers fool you. Like I said, this is not a Drew Dahlman type of signing as a center. This is a guy that is going to be a 1-year deal. He's going to protect Justin Fields, and that's going to be that. It's clear the rebuild is on here for the Jets. We have gotten rid of so many different players in free agency, and I think this is the best possible scenario for you Jets fans. I'm sorry to say this. However, you've got to get worse before you can get better. And I say that because we saw what happened last year in the dumpster fire that was this organization's season. We were the laughingstock of the NFL. So to go out and get a cheap center who, in my opinion, is kind of underrated, and I say underrated as in, like, oh my God, he's one of the best centers I've ever seen. One of the most underrated centers I've seen play, especially for his price tag. Now, again, this all goes back to protecting the quarterback. You bring in Justin Fields, and hopefully this 2-year, $40 million deal can turn into something better. He's one of the most talented players that the NFL has in terms of pure athleticism. His ability to play quarterback remains to be seen. Kind of a one-read pony. First read isn't there. He's going to take off with his legs. That needs to change. He needs to get further into his progressions. But this is a good signing. $3.5 million? I'm not upset with it at all. But I'm going to ask you, take out your red pen real quick and grade the Josh Myers signing. Give it an A, give it a B, give it a C, give it a D, or if you really hate it, give it an F. I'm going to give this a B-. Underrated center for his price tag. The Jets bring him in on a 1-year deal, so we're not locked into anything. I think it's a very, very okay signing. Slightly above average. That's why I said very okay. I'll give it a B-. All right, some more pressing news here. The Jets, at the time of this recording, have released CJ Mosley. Now, he's played pretty well the last couple of seasons, and it should be noted also, Jets fans, that CJ Mosley, after his release, the Jets are eating $16.4 million of dead cap money. So we knew what this was. Don't panic. Again, got to get worse before you can get better. This is Aaron Glenn's way of saying we are completely restructuring the framework of this organization. We understand that in order to bring in the culture that we want to bring in, we have to get rid of some fan favorite players. And Mosley was one of those players. So, again, got to get worse before you can get better. I hate to keep beating that dead horse. But, again, CJ Mosley was one of those players where You probably weren't going to bring him back. And again, it's a new look. It's a new feel for this organization. So if we can go and check out all of the moves that the Jets have made so far, I don't necessarily know that I can give it anything higher than like a C+ or a B-. And that's just the truth. But that's also because we're getting rid of some good players and completely restructuring the way that we look. New quarterback, new head coach, new center, front office is changing. All of these things are leading to the inevitable solution, I guess you could call it, the inevitability that the Jets are in a rebuild. And that's okay. Plenty of other teams have had to do it. The Chicago Bears were in a rebuild. They got rid of Khalil Mack, and then they drafted Justin Fields, and that didn't work out. So they had to pivot to Caleb Williams. As we see this organization get better, you will find that it is easier to pivot off of the bad and get better. It's going to take time. It's not going to be easy. But I think with Aaron Glenn and some new management upstairs, the Jets are on the right path. So go ahead and tell me your one-word reaction to CJ Mosley being released. I'm going to say unfortunate, but I'm also going to say necessary. So can I give it 2? I can give it 2 words there. We could check in here on some more Jets free agency moves. Rashad Weaver signed a 1-year deal. Full details coming. A lot of these details have not been solidified yet. That's why you see a lot of those TBA. It's to be announced. And that's because all of the NFL insiders, as they're getting information, we are also getting the information. So we have to wait from guys like Shefty, Ian Rappaport to fill in those gaps for us as well. Isaiah Oliver, Josh Myers comes in with that $3.5 million deal, like I said. And then Jamie Sherwood re-signs. Justin Fields, we obviously got him, so we have a quarterback. Thank God. Brandon Stevens and Andre Sisco also coming in for some defensive help. And then some players that left the Jets. Devontae signed with the Rams. Hassan Reddick is signing with the Bucks. Kinlaw, Washington Commanders. Morgan Moses is signing with the New England Patriots. DJ Reed is going to the Detroit Lions. Solomon Thomas is signing with the Dallas Cowboys. Ashton Davis is signing with the Miami Dolphins. And Brandon Eccles is signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Jets fans, to just kind of recap, it's a rebuild. Don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Understand that while you are currently the laughingstock of the NFL, the moves that have been set in place by the new regime are going to get you out of it. Again, sometimes you have to dig lower to give yourself more leverage to pull yourself out. That's the key. Good organizations do it all the time. Acknowledge that you whiffed. Aaron Rodgers, I'm sorry. The massive contract that we gave him didn't pan out. You say, look, we acknowledge that we took a big swing. Sometimes you miss. But bad organizations stay in the muck. They stand firm and they say, we're not going to change anything that we've done. The only thing that we're going to do is maybe make some splashy signings and hope that things get changed and figured out. And that's just not the case. Good organizations understand, identify, acknowledge the problems, and then they pivot and they try to get as good as possible in as little time as possible. You see it from the 49ers, they do it. You see it from the Eagles, they do. Carson Wentz took the Eagles to a Super Bowl. They moved off of him 2 years later. So, again, just to fully kind of bring it around, like I said, we've made some moves. We've got some talent at the quarterback position. We've got a brand new head coach. We've signed a new center. We're getting rid of some good players that we didn't see a future with. And the future, speaking of, looks bright for the New York Jets. That's going to do it for us on the Jets Report today. Patrick Seepman will be back. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And as always, go Jets.